So I had developed some look about myself for cross-dressing, but I hadn't really been public. I hadn't had opportunities to be public, and I wanted to be careful. I wanted to carefully develop my look to avoid, well, to look properly, like dress appropriately and so forth, and look appropriately, and to be able to fool. If I could fool people, I could pass. So there were three people. I began. So I would go to the park along the lake here, and there was somebody from Temple that I'd already opened up to, and then there was somebody, a coworker from the clinic, I opened up to, and then there was a third, and then there was another person from Temple, and then there was a fourth person, the girl from high school. I'll try. I'll be very discreet. I won't reveal anything about her. But thing is, this past spring, I sent a text to her saying, not that I personally was feeling sorry or it was all my fault or whatever, but there were just things that were left lingering. There were questions that just, they weren't really resolved, but I guess they were just put away in the back burner because maybe I'll never be able to talk to this person again. And I just worked my way through other things and put it on the back burner for my own mental health. So I just sent her. I know what instigated it. It was there was a video. There was a video series about what they call lolcows and people taunting him and manipulating him, and so not that I was manipulating anybody, but I just sent a text to her. Over the years, especially around 2010 or 2007, like time MySpace was there before Facebook. We had become like Facebook friends and then early MySpace friends, and it was enough to say, okay, we're friendly enough to be in contact. She doesn't hate me. She doesn't despise me. Maybe in the future or sometime, maybe I'll learn what actually happened and all those things. So I sent a text in the spring of this past year. I mean, this past spring, I think it was spring, I texted her and said, look, I'm sorry if I said anything or bothered you in any way and so forth. So to put it discreetly without revealing what she said, basically she said, no, you didn't bother, no, it's okay. If you want to talk, I can only talk for a short time. I don't do texting, just call me back. Oh my gosh. So I called her back, and then we talked for like 2 hours into the night. And of course, I had a job the next morning and so forth, but I didn't care. It felt like 20 years in the making. Like I really longed for this call. And she mentioned some things. She revealed a few things about what was going on in the background that I kind of suspected. I didn't know the details. I didn't know specifics, but I got a gist of some sentiments that and I got confirmation. Aha! I knew something like that was figured something like that. I felt like that was going on. So that was reassuring, and I felt in the future maybe this will develop into some relationship where at some point I can ask more, like what was really please tell me what was going on, answer these mysteries and questions in my life that frustrated me. I didn't know what was going on. Back then there was a point, this is the only point where I contemplated suicide. That was so. In '94, we graduated in '94, and then that summer it was really hard on me. Other people were moving away, and people had different lives, and I was stuck at home. And this lingering about what happened, and just feeling stuck, just in life in general. And I took some chemicals and mixed them together. But I talked with my mom. I knew it wasn't the thing to do, and I talked I we both understood. No, it's not. It's a stupid thing to do. I guess I should put up a trigger warning. I'm gonna put up a trigger warning for this video, I guess. So, about 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 seconds, something like that. About 5 minutes into it, it felt really affected me, and I felt frustrated also because I couldn't talk to her about it because it was like she was blocking me out. Like I was crying and I wanted consolation. Like it was very different with my mom. My mom would console me, and my mom would, and she did a few times. Like I could easily talk with my mom about these whatever was bothering. We never had my mom and I never had a fight. Never. She was my best friend, and she closest friend, and so forth. Figured that was normal. Maybe not everybody is lucky to have a relationship with their parents like that. So I couldn't talk. It was frustrating. I couldn't talk to her at least to get these answers. And whenever I would try to get in contact with her to at least ask what was going on, could you explain this? She would react like she didn't know like there was no sense of responsibility or accountability. That's what frustrated and annoyed me very much. I don't want to say angered because anger is a different kind of emotion, just the frustration. So anyway, okay, so at this point I felt, oh wow, so she called, so we were talking on the phone and I felt relieved, a great sense of relief. And so I would go to the park and I would cross-dress, and I got better and better at it. And there was a point I was pretty proud of myself. I would send pictures, quick pictures, and they would all say, "Wow, you look pretty good," or "looking good," or whatever. And it's amazing. It's wow. I wanted this, but I didn't know it would actually happen, especially so soon. But like one of them said, "You could pass," like you. And one of them, actually a coworker, actually, oops, maybe I shouldn't say coworker, said essentially I could pass very well. Like she wondered if I would do this at work. Like, you mean I passed that well? And she said something like, absolutely. Wow. So that was, first of all, that was telling me I was doing it well, and it's a talent, and I'm proud of having, in a very short time, basically a year, I guess. I mean, given the times the lull periods I wasn't doing anything, and given the sheer actual amount of time I've devoted to this, in that short a time, I've been able to work up to a pretty good look. Now I looked into voice training, and there's somebody who does voice training for essentially for people who transition, but heck, I don't care the source. I'll do it myself. I mean, I don't care. I'm not transitioning or transgender or whatever, or physically looking at changing, but it's just a voice thing, and it helps people with singing too. Like I'd seen a video on YouTube, 2-part video where it said actually Michael Jackson has been caught talking in a normal voice, and it's not the high-pitched voice either. So he kept his normal voice. It's just for public appearances. He has this other voice. So from however I get it, I want to be able to, in order to look the part and come across, I need that voice too, because that would be a dead giveaway. So I'm doing that too. So anyway, so I've been in the park, yeah. So over time I've developed that. I guess that about covers it. That's where it is. I wish I were in better shape because you're looking at me. I look like I'm in pretty good physical shape, but I went to the doctors recently. I was 200 pounds. I don't know. I mean, in retrospect, it's then I have like a paunch, this unfortunate like stomach that just hangs forward, and I wish it was. It seems like an anchor. I wish I could just delete it, erase, like excise it, like take a knife. Not that I. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I mean, I wish I could just trim that off. Because if you see the rest of me, I have pretty good musculature, and I look in pretty good physical shape. But going to the doctors recently and being weighed, it was. I remember before it was like 190 something, and then here it was like about 200 pounds. And then in retrospect, I wondered if that's muscle. That's not just that's doesn't have to be fat. I guess maybe it's muscle, and I can't understand it because I've been eating spinach, leafy spinach in a can. I've been eating vegetables. I mean, granted, I eat like Nutella. I've developed a taste for Nutella and graham crackers, and sometimes I eat bread. I cut out pasta. I've months ago, sometimes I would buy a half gallon of ice cream, burnt dairy ice cream, and milk, half gallon of 2% milk, and I've eaten more protein like chicken. I love rotisserie chicken. Um, Mixed vegetables in a can. I sometimes I'll eat a banana or an apple. Where is this fat coming from? Like it shouldn't be increasing to like. I don't want to get to 250 pounds or 220. It feels like it's going to increase. I do have a. I take levothyroxine. I found out when I had that stroke and I was in the hospital in January 2008, 2018. They did all sorts of tests and they found I have normal blood pressure. I have normal everything. It just there was what happened was there was a blood clot for a moment, long enough to cut off, long enough to I guess make my left arm and left leg be limp for a period of time. It was like my body was bored and just decided to do that. Actually, the morning before I woke up with the stroke, I was shoveling snow outside on the front porch. Careful, like I wasn't even shoveling that hard, just for a while. Maybe that did it. Maybe my body is just prone to doing that. Maybe they'll discover something. But since they did a battery of tests, they found everything's normal except they discovered I have a hypothyroidism. So since then, I've been taking levothyroxine and simvastatin and aspirin and vitamin D3. And I know growing up as a child, my mom kept encouraging me to take the vitamin. And did you eat your? I don't even remember what the vitamin was, but it was something. And of course, as probably every kid is, and adults, sometimes you forget. Whoops, I forgot. And honestly, I would forget to take it. I'm someone very much. I'm very much a routine person. If I'm conditioned to do something as if there's some regular part of my routine, I just do it without thinking very much of it. Like I get up in the morning, I brush my teeth. That's a routine. And I drive to work. That's a routine. I know the route to work. That's a routine. So if it's not part of my routine, then I don't tend to do it. And I guess as a child, I was distracted. It just wasn't taking that vitamin, whatever it was, just I guess didn't become part of my routine. I probably would need to take levothyroxine anyway. But I'm saying she was smart. My mom was smart, and she read up in. Sometime I'll mention how smart she was. She was very much up on science and kept up on health and what foods are good for you and so forth, maintaining good health, so forth. I guess that completes that. Maybe I'd be interested in your feedback on any of the stuff I've been talking about, so forth. I don't know if anybody would like to see me dressed up for one of these videos or not. I've been a bit more open, like comfortable showing, like dressing up and so forth. Anyway, thanks.